Hi guys, what's up? This is a reading for Justin Bieber for the next 6 months, really looking ahead a little bit there for him to see what energies surround him. So we're basically cruising into June right now, so we may as well say this is from June on for the next 6 months for him, roughly. Just having a wee look around. Now the first card we see right here is the Five of Pentacles, and the picture kind of tells the main part of the story for this card and the energies around him at the moment. There's a fair bit of feeling of loss and just things aren't rolling smoothly, so we know that. He's had a lot of charges against him lately. His relationship with Selena Gomez seems to have been transparently falling apart due to the fact of other relationships that he's involved with at the same time, on and off. They're all on and off. And financial issues with this Five of Pentacles as well. So I'm wondering if there might be a little bit of something going on with things that he's invested in, whether or not there's a tightening up of that in somewhere that he has invested money in. So there seems to be a tightness at the moment. The next card that came out is quite a positive one for him. It's the Chariot card, and that can denote travelling around or moving around as well, so going on trips somewhere. Now whether this is for work as such, which of course for him is tours and concerts and performing, or whether it's pleasure, I'm unsure. It can also just mean the regaining of some personal strength along your journey, so perhaps he pulls himself together a bit and he's back out in the public face a little bit more with that kind of slight arrogance, you know, that he is a little bit arrogant, isn't he? I personally like Justin Bieber's music. I reckon he's a really talented artist and he can go a long way if he gets himself back on this particular behaviour, that a glitch phase that he's stuck in at the moment. It's not going to do him any favours in the long run. I think he knows that. I think he mentioned a couple of weeks ago or a month ago that he was thinking of trying to correct himself again, which is a really good start. It's a good place to begin. But just as a matter of interest, Justin's personal year vibration for him this year is actually a 2. Now, a 2 vibration can often be very challenging, and it is about making steps towards the changes that you need to make, but they're not quite in place yet. He may come across finding that he needs new allies and people to support him and grow him forward positively. So his whole year is a vibration 2 this year. So those energies aren't really going to go away. It can be a year of struggle and hard work. You know, you put into place things, but they don't necessarily show right straight away. So I think the public will continue to perhaps see some of these argy-bargy situations that he gets himself into, and negative, compromised situations. I think that's going to continue a longer, but underneath he's working towards resolving it. And part of that is the fact that he's still relatively young. He's still, you know, experiencing things and trying to grow up. It will be nice when he does get there and he becomes a more positive influence on the role model position that he has in society. So that Chariot card, I do feel, is a lot about his personal just power coming back a little bit. And aggression, it's a card of aggression. So let's hope he doesn't get into too much trouble with that. The next card that came out for him is there are still quite a lot of opportunities of looking at flashy things and lots of different illusions, if you like, to trap him in. So that's where I get the feeling that he's going to come back out with a bit of a bolt of energy, do a few more, you know, perhaps silly things, be seen out a bit more in the public again, be involved in a few more deals, or working together with various people, artists possibly. And it may be men, there may be some working with men again, slightly older, even older than him. And there is an older man around him now, and I wonder if that's his father coming back onto the scene to give a little bit more balance into his life. There didn't really seem to be anything much pointing to particular romantic interests for him for the next 6 months. We know that he's been on and off with Selena Gomez, and interestingly enough, her personal year vibration number this year is a 9. Now 9s are all about endings, ending the last 9-year cycle that she's been in, and they can be quite hard years as well, painful heart years, because you have to cut things off sometimes. And she may have an experience this year that there's a situation that could crop up that forces her to move on from the past, and it is often relationship related. So we'll keep an eye on the two of them for the year. I think that they will still show energies around each other. There is a connection there, and I think it comes and goes. It's nothing totally set in stone, but it doesn't disappear yet either. So it's just another one of these conundrums with the two of them, ebbing and flowing. They haven't quite sorted it out, and I think if they're not going to stay together, they probably should move apart sooner rather than later. The next card for Justin that came out is a little bit more of a worrying trend that indicates quite severe depression and anxiety related issues that could be cropping up as we move through the year. This is in about 3 months' time, so August, maybe end of August. He's overdoing it, and he really does need to stand back, take stock and rethink, go right into the core of him and see what his values are. What is it he should be doing? What direction should he be heading in? So I have a feeling he almost goes into sort of like a, what's the word for it, like a retreat or some sort of therapy help, I think, is going to be required to rebalance his energies a little bit again. And then there's definitely areas around him of creativity that may come back out after this. Perhaps he goes through some sort of inner cleansing or inner looking at himself, and it brings back creativity again. I do think he's still going to have creativity this year. There's quite a lot of cards around for him that show creativity. And there's also periods there, using a slightly different deck. This is a card that shows his creativity, for instance, and he's a Pisces, and Pisces are incredibly creative people generally and overall. And they're very sensitive people too, so, and often they're very spiritual people, and that path can come along and open up as they go on in time. And I think Justin, he does perhaps get some of his best connective and spiritual energies when he's daydreaming and thinking a little bit more and connecting with his own mind, body and soul. And there's another card that showed the creative project and timing and everything coming for him. There was a card that says he definitely needs to cleanse and detoxify. We know that. That's not hard to pick up. He's been shuffling around the bars a bit much and doing all the, you know, weed and smoking and all sorts of stuff. So clearing all that out for him is going to be a huge bonus. Get him back on the path to moving forward in some light. And this arrived. Peace. This is a really powerful connection to your spiritual essence, yourself. So I think for Justin, as we come out of the 6 months that we're talking about, he goes through some sort of revelation or inner period of darkness that brings him out the other side and hopefully seeing the light and moving ahead in a much more positive area. Don't necessarily see him teaming up with a specific set partner at this time. I think that's still open and available. And as I say, Selena and him, coming and going. We'll just have to see how it goes. But hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that. All the Bieber fans, we'll wish him luck and hope that he has a good rest of 2014. Peace all. Kia kaha.